And that is the beautiful voice. Guys, welcome to Motivation Monday. Today is episode 16, and the conversational topic today is greatness within. The path of greatness is available to all of us. It does not matter who you are, it only matters who you want to be and where you want to go with that. Most people seem to let the world kill their dreams, turn them into average individual. Our next guest is the exception to the rule. She's not just talented, but she understands the definition of greatness within. Please help me welcome Giselle. Let's see.
Hey, good night.
Hi, oh my
Can you
God,
hear
are
me?
you okay? Did you get lost? I was like concerned. I was like, are you finding
I got
everything?
totally lost. I got totally lost.
Oh, well, welcome,
It's my
Giselle. I
first
know,
time on this app.
I know, but you managed everything so well. So welcome. I'm so happy to
Thank
have
you.
you
I'm
here.
happy to be here.
So tell me something real quick. How does, when it comes to your music, where did your path with music start?
So I started in music when I was a child. I started actually in the church choir because my grandmom, she's very religious. So I had no choice but to attend choir practice. And
Okay.
eventually I fell in love with music, singing, until I became the choir coordinator later on in my early
Wow.
adulthood. And then from there, I branched off into creating music of my own because I felt like there was something I wanted to say. I wanted to find my voice and sing the messages that I felt were within me that were waiting to get out. So that's how I started my own path as a musician.
That is beautiful. And I know, like we said, when it comes to greatness, I think like sometimes things lay dormant inside of us. And then
Yeah.
when we start forging our own path and walking that path, we kind of start creating. Take me a little bit through the first song you've ever written as an artist that was doing things outside of the church and choir.
So the first song that I wrote, it was called Sleeping Angels, and it was about waking up from your sleep. So it was generally about myself and my brother who started music together. He started as a music producer, and listening to him create beats, that's what encouraged me to go over to his room and start writing. So that song was basically a celebration of coming out from the darkness and releasing your creative energy.
Wow, basically stepping inside of the light. Your look is
Yeah.
extremely unique, and I think that's one of the main things that attracted me to when we first started talking. Very obviously, very unique look, and very. I love the fact that your music also speaks about how proudly you are, who you are, and being who you are. So tell me, just what is the inspiration behind your look?
Well, I think the inspiration behind my look is really me going back to being myself. So about a few years ago, when the whole natural hair movement started, that's when I decided to grow my hair back natural. But being natural for me wasn't just about my hair, it was about embracing the fullness of who I am, just being comfortable in my own skin, not being afraid to embrace myself. And also was a journey of self care, learning to care for myself, care for my hair, care for my skin. So it really was a journey of self acceptance and love for me. Yeah, that's what helped me to embrace this look.
That is absolutely beautiful. So for me personally, my favorite song of yours is Melanin on Fleek. I love the beat. I like the rhythm. I like the
Yeah.
positivity behind the message. And I promise you, almost everywhere I played it, everybody was so I wouldn't say excited, but like, oh my God, who is this? Where did you get this music
Yeah.
from? So you are from Trinidad, correct?
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, everyone who's listening.
Right. So basically, you being from there, I know you take a lot of pride in that. There's a project that you created called $1 billion, I think it's called.
Yeah,
I
billion
went
dollar
obviously
dream.
through all your stuff and I saw something like that. Can you give me a little bit about the film? Just give me the behind the story behind the film and why you felt was necessary to create it, and what was your message with putting it on your YouTube?
So I linked up with a producer on Instagram. His name is Moon on the Beat. he went viral recently, but at that time, we were just starting off in music as well, just another person on Instagram creating music. And it was the first time I was introduced to that style of music, the sort of hip hop, R&B, soul music. And I felt like it was really important for me to create something that could inspire me and inspire others to follow their dreams. So, Billion Dollar Dream is a song about one, knowing that you deserve to become a billionaire, and knowing that your dream
Yeah.
and knowing that your dream is a $1 billion dream. It's not just a cheap dream, you know. My dream is not just a cheap dream that can just be cast on the side. It's something that's very valuable. And I think the only way that people can understand the value of something, in at least in our world, is through money. And $1 billion, I guess, it's everyone's dream to be a billionaire. So that's why I termed it $1 billion dream. Yeah.
100%. What does it
Yeah.
mean to you to achieve greatness? I know you talked about being a billionaire and you talk about being proud of your appearance, your look, your sound, which is all
Mhm.
very unique. But what does it mean for you to achieve greatness?
Okay, so greatness for me is really about fulfilling my purpose on this earth. So I feel like greatness for me is one, discovering my purpose and constantly unfolding that purpose, because you know your purpose isn't just one moment you discover your purpose and that's it. It's a continuous becoming, as Michelle Obama said, you know, it's always becoming. So for me, achieving greatness, and I don't think you can ever just, for me, it's not like a final bus stop, as they say. You know,
Right.
it's something throughout your whole life. And I think the most important thing is being authentic on that journey, not limiting yourself, always seizing opportunities, creating from a real true place, and accepting who you are and who you're becoming. For me, that's greatness.
I love that. So your current project or your latest project, I would say, is called Coconut. And I
Yeah.
saw the visuals behind it, absolutely beautiful. It is available on her YouTube channel as well. When you created that song, just give us a little bit what went into that project and what are you working on right now, if anything?
Okay, so Coconut is a song that I had maybe a couple years actually. It started, but I feel like I got a little sidetracked along the way, because for me, I think what's really important is creating a culturally relevant product. And that's my main focus. So, Coconuts, coming off of Melanin on Fleek a year ago, is a continuation of that, celebrating my culture, celebrating where I'm coming from, creating a song that is culturally relevant and representative of my country. And that song for me, it celebrates romance, love. Um, you know, in my country, it has a double meaning. I think some people know that, but the word coconut, it has a double meaning for a male's genitals. So
Oh
it's
wow!
really,
Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. But now too, I know you have the visuals behind it, and I saw a little bit. I also saw the repost that you did with the video. So now that I understand the double meaning, it makes a little bit much more sense. What are you currently working on, if any projects, and if you can give us information about that, if any?
so I have another song coming out in just a few weeks. It's called Turn On the Lights. It was recently shared by a couple celebrities from the Caribbean. So a lot of persons started showing interest in it. It's actually a song from 2017. And I was really surprised by the feedback. So that's the next one. It's just a few weeks it's coming out. And then I'm having my EP come out later this year. But I'm gonna be putting out new music every month, basically. Yeah.
That's what it should be. I know you have you have some of your songs available on iTunes, and I know you have your visuals, your music videos, as well as your short film, Billion Dollar, that gives a little bit of a peek behind the inspiration behind your music. I know you also spoke about apologizing in one of the songs. Sorry, I forgot the song's name. In
I
one
think
of the
it's
songs where you
Stranger.
apologize. Yes, yes. Can we hear a little bit about that song, if you don't mind sharing?
That song has always been a topic. Um, It's really about my own journey with mood swings. So at least a couple years ago, I was really having a really huge struggle with mood swings, and it caused a lot of problems in my relationship. So, I think I put my boyfriend through a lot of pain and stress due to my mental health challenges. And I in that song I really I apologized to him, for really one not seeking help. I think not seeking help, I didn't see it as a
Right.
problem. I felt like it was my personal problem, but the thing is, when you're in a relationship, your problem becomes that other person's problem as well. So, I as I started to reflect on it, as the years went on in our relationship, I really saw how much pain I caused by not seeking help, not recognizing the problem I had, not digging into my past trauma and starting the healing process. I was seeing how my mood swings were emerging out of that. And that song was really just about, apologizing for how much pain I've caused by my own um, challenges.
I think it is so important to recognize and understand the things that we do go through, and to be able to take a craft and art that you love and to be able to
Hmm.
use it basically as therapy, not just to express yourself, but also to mend broken things or things that was maybe not received in the wellest way at first. And when it comes to mental
Hmm.
health, I am a very big advocate because my personal journey with mental health is one of the reasons why I always speak out. And I think it's very, very brave of you to be able to say,
Hmm.
this was something that I was dealing with. This is something that didn't work. And now I'm on a better path and things help. So I definitely think music is therapy, as well as it's loves the fact that it is a part of your passion. The platforms that
Hmm.
your music is out on right now, what platforms can people find your music on?
So our music is available on all the major streaming platforms. So it's distributed by all the major distributors. So you can find it on Apple, Spotify, everywhere basically. It's everywhere.
Right. Everywhere. Okay, so music is available everywhere. For those of you who do
Hmm.
follow her on Instagram, you will be able to see the links and all her latest music going up there as favorite.
Hmm. That's a very tough question because I don't take my songs personally. Not
Okay.
anymore anyway. But I think it will probably be a tie between Melanin on Fleek and the one that I'm putting out next, which is Turn on the Lights.
I am very excited for that because I love Melanin Fleek is one of my favorites. I want to ask you though, I see that what you say you're going to be putting out music every single month. Can we look forward of more of your music being available on the iTunes platform? Because I think I
Mhm.
literally put it on repeat and the state that all of them play, but can we look forward to more of your songs that's available on YouTube also being added to iTunes?
So honestly, all the songs that are on my YouTube are on iTunes, but they may be a little difficult to find some of them. Um, because when I started releasing music, iTunes wasn't available in my country, so I wasn't able to create a profile at that time. So all the latest ones are on my official profile, so you'll find them all connected when you go on it. But the earlier ones, it may be a little more challenging to find, but they are all on iTunes, and all the rest of songs I will be releasing will be on iTunes as well.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. So another thing I just wanted to ask is, so when it comes to who you are, what you stand for, I think it
Mhm.
inspires so many people when you embrace who you are and you're authentically yourself, and you end up having people looking up to you and basically seeing you as a role model. Do you feel like you have a social responsibility when it comes to who you are and the people who do look up to you?
I believe that I do have a social responsibility. I do believe that at the end of the day, as you said, there are people that are looking up to you. And when you have a platform and you have the ability to influence people, I think it's important to be careful, to be purposeful, not just careful, but to be purposeful in the type of content you put out, the type of things you say, because you never know who might be listening. Sometimes it's a teenager who might be going through, mental health challenges, and
Right.
it's important to always, even if you're going through something, to not put out toxic energy into the universe. I think we have enough toxic energy out there already. So sometimes you have to
Right.
contain the problem,
I
contain the
always say
problem.
that the world is, there's a lot of broken things in the world. And I always
Hmm.
say my purpose on this earth is to put a little bit of it back together. So I always try
Yeah,
to be
that's
the
so
best version
beautiful.
of myself by exuding and giving that positive energy, because people feed off of those type of things. And like you said, you never know who you might inspire, who you might touch, and basically what that might mean for them. That's why also it was important for me to speak openly about my mental health struggles and the
Hmm.
issues that I was dealing with and still dealing with, and basically putting that together. So I think it is such an amazing thing that you're being so open about all of these things, because like I said, you never know who is watching and who's looking up to you in that way. Right now, if you should have a collab with any artist right now, any
Hmm.
artist, who would be your perfect um, collaboration?
So I think immediately, it's the top of my head, it comes Coffee, because she's from the Caribbean too, and she's doing awesome things. And Mariba, I'm really loving the direction that Mariba is going in as well.
Are you inspired by specific artists as well? Because I know, in the industry, you do kind of find inspiration through other people and how they do things. Do you have people that you draw inspiration from?
So I will go back to Coffee, and she's one of the persons who inspires me because she dresses in a way that some may consider to be controversial for what femininity is. And what I really admire about her is the way that she embraces who she is so boldly. And artists like that always inspire me.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
basically who you are. You are very bold. You
Yeah.
speak very you stand for you stand in your truth. And I think that's an absolute beautiful thing. So we have Billion Dollar Dream, then there's also the audio that's out. Tell me a little bit about Sister Got Soul, because that is also one of my favorites. I
Yeah.
love everything about the song. Give me a little more information, and will we possibly be able to look forward to a visual to Sister Got Soul?
Well, honestly, I didn't plan on doing a visual for Sister Got Soul. So you're giving me something to think about. The
It's a
story
good
behind that
song.
song.
I personally love it.
The
But
story
tell me
behind
more
that
about what
song.
went into writing that. What went into writing
Yeah.
that and putting it all together?
So Sister Got Soul is the celebration of one, Black beauty, and also size and inclusivity. So for me, I've always had some struggles with weight, and there are certain societal standards of what beauty is, and beauty is a certain size, a certain color, a certain look. So for me, I wanted to say something about that. And for me, I think the most important thing for a woman, or what makes you beautiful, is your soul. So I said, Sister Got Soul, because that's what really matters. And soul for me is boldness, courage to just step out into the world and say, you know what, I'm going to be me. I'm not going to show up as someone else. I'm going to show up as me, with all my cellulite, with all my stretch marks,
Perfectly
with
imperfect.
my
Oh,
hair
I don't know.
nappy, or even if it's in a wig. However, I'm not afraid to show up as who I am. Mhm. Yeah,
Right,
perfectly
100%. I
imperfect. So
thought
it's
there was
about,
a
it's
little bit of
celebrating
a
that.
right. No, I think that is absolutely beautiful. I love the fact that you are, because right now, even as you speak, you're inspiring people to be themselves and to embrace who they are. For me personally, that I was struggling with weight last year. I wouldn't necessarily say weight, but all over appearance. I woke
Hmm.
up one morning and I just didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I didn't like who I was.
Hmm.
And I always say, if you don't like something, change it. So I started doing what made me feel good, what made me feel positive, and it also helped me a lot with my mental issues because I'm doing something now for me. I'm fighting for what I want because my
Yeah.
why was more important than anything else. And I
Yeah.
stand here before you, not much lighter than I was before, but I love who I am. I love listening to
Yeah.
artists like yourself who always takes a piece of yourself and you put it into your music. And listening to it is
Yeah.
just, it gives you that extra. I'm not the only person dealing with this. I am not the only
Yeah.
person going through this. And I can take that and it's like, she's one of my favorite artists. And, as an
Mhm.
Afro Caribbean artist, do you think it's hard being in the industry that has such a, I would say, an unrealistic standard for what women are supposed to be and how people are supposed to look like and sound like?
I think it's definitely more challenging, especially coming from the Caribbean, because you're coming from a place where people don't think dreams can happen. So for Caribbean people, we see migrating to the US or to the UK as a way of achieving your dreams. And definitely, all the standards that are placed on women in the industry, it's very challenging to navigate who you are because you're often put into a box. You see, that's the thing about the industry is that they're always trying to put you into a box. So you need to look like someone else, you need to sound like someone else so they know how to market you. And I think for me, the way that I navigate that is by being an independent artist and making my own choices. And I think it's important for more Black women to be executives in the music industry because we know what we look like, we know what we sound like. So if someone from another race is telling you how you should look and sound, they're not going to get it. They don't get what you're trying to say. They don't get your culture. They don't get where you're coming from. So they're going to try to put you into a box that you don't belong in.
Right, 100%. I agree with that. I think it was um, famous actor Denzel Washington. He was in an interview and they asked him in this interview that why was it important for you to have a black director? And he said, I get up in the morning and when I use a hot comb, I needed somebody to understand my message and what I was trying to say. How do
Mm-hmm.
you stay so mentally I think you're a very strong-minded person in the sense of like you know who you are and you know what your message is and you're not going to be bullied or confined into any type of space that people want you to be in if you're not comfortable in that. So how do you stay mentally strong? Because I know sometimes when people keep picking at things, sometimes you have that. How do you keep your mental as strong as it is?
So some of the things that I do are one, I surround myself with people who share the same values as I do. So I don't let people into my space who don't get me, who don't think that I'm great, who don't think that I'm awesome. Like I'm not gonna be talking to you because I want people around me who believe in me, who think I'm the best thing that ever happened. So that's the kind of people that I surround myself with, and that helps me to be strong. And another thing that I do is that I don't compare myself to others. Like if I start comparing myself to other people, I'm gonna feel so bad,
All
so
the
I
time.
don't all the time. So I don't compare myself to other people. I think that's an important part of being strong, being mentally strong, because comparison, especially on social media, with so many people putting out an image of themselves that's not even true, it's a filtered image. And I follow influencers on Instagram as well who share the same values that I do, who show themselves for who they really are, and surrounding myself with a community not only in person but online as well. It really helps to keep. It really strengthens me a lot. Yeah.
I love that. That's what I'm saying. Like if you keep your circle positive and you surround yourself
Yeah,
with positive people who feeds your soul and gives you that energy, you're always going to be in a positive space and people who allow you to be yourself. Because a lot of times you, like you said, when you look on social media and you see what people are doing, you're comparing your real actual life to somebody's highlights. Because we post on social media
exactly.
when we do beautiful things and people behind the scenes seeing this can literally put themselves in a depressive state because they don't realize that these are people's highlights. Or sometimes it's an
Hmm.
unrealistic comparison because there's, like you said, all these different types of filtered images. That's why even when it comes to these TikTok challenges where it's like what he expects versus what he gets, I love those challenges because girls
Yeah,
were not afraid to strip themselves bare, remove their wigs, and just be like, "This is me. This is who I am, and I love who I am." We had a show recently talking about keeping your circle positive and ensuring that
hmm,
you don't allow toxic energy in your space. And being on social
hmm.
media sometimes that creeps in without, I
It does.
feel,
It does.
without us having to prevent it. How do you, I think for me personally, because I am a bit of a hothead, you know what I mean? I'm a Scorpion,
Hmm.
so I
Me
still
too,
am
actually.
navigating and learning
Scorpio
how
as
to
well. Yeah.
deal with things like that when it's like somebody says something that's extremely negative or toxic. But
Hmm.
I'm learning how to be more emotional, mature, and intelligent and to control myself when it comes to things like that. How do you handle dealing with negative people that comes into your space
Hmm.
in on social media or in real life?
Okay, so in the past few years, really started not taking things personally. And I think for me, that was the biggest revelation for me, not to take things personally, because someone's actions are not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of who they are and where they're at. And usually they're hurting. So it's very easy to, when you see a negative comment or someone says something to you, it's very easy for you to take it in. You want to grab onto it, you want to hold on to it, because that's
Yeah.
your old trauma speaking. You want to be hurt. A part of us, we want to be hurt. We want to feel pain, we want pity, we want someone to feel sorry for us, we want to call someone and say, you know what, look what that person said to me, and how could you say that? And you want to build this whole victim cycle. And for me, I decided, you know what, this has nothing to do with me. Like, this really has nothing to do with me.
Right.
It
That
sounds
that
a
is
little
more.
it might sound simplistic, but that's what I do, and that's what helps me not to get hurt or internalize things. Like, I don't let it get into my heart. It goes to my head, I process it, and I don't let it get to my heart.
100%. That it makes 100% sense because I always say you're not gonna make me feel bad in my own space. Your emotions and your feelings
Hmm.
is your own. I wish you nothing
And
but
of course, there
blessings.
are times we do feel bad, because there
Hmm.
are
Of
times that I
course.
do. I do feel bad sometimes, but sometimes you need to sit with the pain. Like, sometimes someone might say something, and there may be a percentage of truth in it, and that's the part that hurts, because you know that there's a part of it that's true. But what happens is that when these things happen, it's really an opportunity for us to reevaluate and strengthen our purpose. So when someone says something like, I can't even remember something negative, but when someone says something that's hurtful, you have to sometimes sit with it and you ask yourself, is it true? Is it in any way
Right.
reflective of who I am? And then it helps you to reconfirm your purpose. And sometimes you leave that thought process feeling even stronger, even more determined. So sometimes you just need to sit with it as well.
That is absolutely wonderful. Well, Giselle, obviously, I think that you're an amazing artist. You're absolutely beautiful. You're very talented. I look forward to seeing more of your projects and, hearing more of your music and putting that out. What is your message to any and everyone looking at this video or will be seeing it? What would you like people to know about you and what message do you have for them?
So what I would like people to know about me is that at this point in my life, I am a COVID long hauler. So I've been a COVID long hauler for a little over a year. And this has been the most challenging time of my entire life. I never thought that I would have to live with a chronic health condition. And what I would like to say is that no matter what life throws at you, no matter how beaten down you feel by life, that there's always hope. There's always hope. And even if your circumstances, even if your body is not where it's supposed to be for you to fulfill your purpose, trust and believe that you will fulfill your purpose. You will fulfill your purpose in this life. Once you believe in it, it may not take the shape of how you expected it to become. You may not you may think to yourself, I need to lose 50 pounds to become a celebrity, or I need to lose 50 pounds to be loved, or I need to
Right.
have $1 million to reach a million people. But those are not the prerequisites for success. Believe in yourself, believe in your goals. God, the divine, whoever you believe it is, has planted a seed of purpose in you. And once you discover it, you're going to take the world by storm.
I love that. That is amazing. And like I said, always stay who you are. It starts with self-love. It starts with you, and whatever God gave you is only meant for you, for no one else. Giselle, thank you
That's right.
so much for your time. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing with us. I really do appreciate it, and I wish you nothing but blessings in the future. And like I said, I look very much forward to hearing more of your music. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. You've been amazing. You really walked me through this process. You're the first person I've spoken to since I had long COVID, and I'm really happy that I did.
Oh, congratulations. But thank you very much. And again, uh, it was an absolute pleasure. It was good seeing you here.
Thank you so much. Blessings.
Thank you. Guys, that is Giselle. I've told you guys her music is available on on all platforms, excuse me, as well as on her YouTube page. It's also available on iTunes. So you can type in literally the songs and see it. She has a very interesting film documentary out available right now called $1 Billion Dream, where you can get a little bit more in depth of who she is. She is an Afro Caribbean artist, and I love the soul music that she creates. Remember, when it comes to greatness within, it starts with self. It starts with who you are and how you see yourself. And if you practice self love, and you practice positivity, and that's what you give to other people, that's that light, that beam. So always follow your dreams, stay who you are, and do not let anybody tell you who you are. There's only one of you, and nobody can replace that.